The first, fourth, and fifth chords in a key correspond to the major scale, of course. The first, fourth, and fifth notes in that major scale. Here in the key of C major, we've got 1, 4, and 5. Those become the bass notes of our 1, 4, and 5 chords. Let's go over that same pattern in several different keys. In the key of G major, we've got G, C, and D as the first, fourth, and fifth notes in that scale. That corresponds to our G major, C major, and D major chords as the 1, 4, and 5 chords in that key. In the key of D major, we've got D, G, and A as the 1, 4, and 5 notes in that scale. That corresponds to, of course, our D major, G major, and A major chords that are the 1, 4, and 5 chords in that key. In the key of A major, we've got A, D, and E that are our first, fourth, and fifth notes in that key, and that corresponds to our A major, D major, and E major chords that are the 1, 4, and 5 chords in that A major key. Okay, the 1, 4, 5 pattern on the guitar for bar chords is something that is incredibly useful to know. I know most of you probably already know this, but let's just review for those of you that don't. If you take your first finger here, and this is the first chord in the key, in this case we've got a G major, we're going to take that first finger, we're going to slide it over to the 5th string. We're going to play the C major shape here, and then we slide it up. This is the 5th chord in the key of G major. This is the 4th chord in the key of G major. And this is the 1st chord, of course, the key of G major. Now, the beautiful thing about this pattern, 1, 4, and 5, back down to 4, and back over to 1, is that it's transferable to anywhere else on the neck. If we move up to the key of A major, now our 1st chord is A major, our 4th chord is D major, and our 5th chord is E major, but we can see that the pattern stays exactly the same. And that's the really cool thing about the guitar. When you know these movable shapes like bar chords, you can move those patterns around. And as professional guitar players, we have these patterns memorized, and we can play them in our sleep, and we just kind of fly through a gig, and we're just thinking in numbers. We're thinking 1, we're thinking 4, we're thinking 5. Oh, we're changing keys. We're thinking 1, we're thinking 4, we're thinking 5. And it's the fact that these shapes stay the same, they just move around. It's the fact that these patterns stay the same, they just move around. That's what really allows us to, play a lot of different types of songs. All the chord progressions usually are pretty similar. And, it's just where you're starting from that dictates exactly where those different chord shapes would be. This has been a lesson on 1, 4, 5. There is a corresponding quiz on guitarthinker.com, along with many, many other Nashville number system lessons and beginner guitar lessons that I really think that you should check out. Love to see you there.